Today I'm going to be ranking NBA teams according to League Pass watchability. Now these are my rankings and my opinions. Part of the fun of talking about basketball online is everyone can have different opinions. There's styles that some people love to watch that others don't, and I'm sure not everyone's going to agree with everything that I think and the teams that I enjoy watching, but that's okay. These are my rankings. I will put the link for this list maker, this tier maker, in the description if you want to do your own. And then also just in the comments, let me know what you think. Let me know who your must-see League Pass teams are, if there's any team that you can't miss, if you just watch your own team, anything like that. I try to watch everything. Obviously, I can't do that all at once. I do try to pull up multiple screens as often as I can, but usually it'll be like 2 or 3 at a time, back and forth, depending on the start times, and then just like catching every highlight possible and like watching the condensed versions and stuff, because there are a lot of teams in the league that I just enjoy watching. So that in mind, let's get started with this and see what we got. So I don't know what the order is. It's definitely not alphabetical order, but we're starting with the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I'm going to have to put them at either a B or a C. I'm not a big Rudy Gobert person, and he has not been as advertised as far as fit with Cat, Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo, bit of a slump there. He recently had a pretty efficient 30-point game, 12 assists. Had the offense looking a lot more like it was supposed to look before the season started, but this team just feels like a chemistry nightmare. Not having Malik Beasley, Pat Bev, Jared Vanderbilt even. Something is off with this team's chemistry, which is a shame given all the talent that's on it. So I don't know what the fix is going to be for them, but it is tough to watch right now. And I say that as someone who D'Angelo Russell is one of, if not still, my favorite player to watch in the league. I have enjoyed him a long time, and this is rough. So next, we got the Atlanta Hawks, who I'm not a big fan of Trae Young's play style. But let me tell you, you put DeJounte Murray next to him, and I'm watching some Hawks games. These guys have been much better than expected fit. I've been really entertained by them. Trae Young missed the last few games recently, and like I kind of felt like the Hawks were just better. Like I don't know how DeJounte Murray continues to improve so much. Like it feels like he's like leaps and bounds better than he was last year, and he was an all-star last year in San Antonio. So I don't know how he does it, but somehow he stays like underrated and emerging like a superstar simultaneously. I don't understand. Throwing Clint Capella, DeAndre Hunter's been balling, and I don't even think they have Bojan Bogdanovic back yet. So he's been in and out of the lineup with injuries. This is a team that is just built to run up and down the court. Next up, we have the Boston Celtics. I will put... see, I'm a Lakers fan, as you can tell. I'll put him in an A. I can't be a hater. Jason Tatum's been incredible this year. Marcus Smart is always fun to watch. Jaylen Brown, kind of inconsistent, but when he is on, it's incredible. Derek White, Malcolm Brogdon's fit in like a seamless fit. This team doesn't even have Robert Williams yet. So I don't know what they're going to look like when they bring him back, because Joe Mazzulla has these dudes playing some rugged defense some nights, and Tatum is a legit MVP candidate. So this is a really fun team to watch. So next up we have the Brooklyn Nets, who are a B because they have Kevin Durant, and that is about it. They are a absolute circus this season. Kyrie Irving was suspended from the team less than 10 games into the season. Head coach Steve Nash already been fired. Jacques Vaughn has these guys playing incredible defense, and that's with Ben Simmons and his fluctuating spot in the lineup. He's starting, he's out, he's off the bench. Throughout it all, Kevin Durant, just the model of scoring consistency. I read something today that said that the Nets went from the 30th defense in the league, which is dead last with Kyrie, to the #1 defense in the games that they've played since he's been suspended from the team. So this team, I don't know if it was just chemistry this whole time or what, but something has unlocked in them recently. On a side note here too, the Nets also have one of, if not the best, broadcast to listen to. Ian Eagles, Sarah Kustok, Ryan Rucco, Richard Jefferson, Michael Grady. It is a stacked lineup of announcers that they cycle through. Usually if I watch a Nets game, I have to have their broadcast on. Next up, we got the Bulls, and I haven't watched a ton of the Bulls this year. I love DeMar DeRozan, but I'm going to put him here at a B as well because they're just not a must-watch team for me. I do like DeMar. I really enjoy Ayo Dosunmu. I did love Zach LaVine's heat check game he had in one of his first games back. I think it was like a week ago, where he was just torching in the fourth quarter. I think it was actually the Nets that they were playing in that game too. The Bulls, they have a lot of fun players and a lot of the paper on paper, this team should be like one of the most exciting, but I don't know if it's all the injuries constantly kind of messing with the lineups. I don't know if it's just a fit thing, but something about it just doesn't perform like I picture it to when I think about this team. Next up, we have the Clippers, who I'm going to put them at a C. I'm a hater when it comes to the Clippers, but this is a really weird team. Kawhi Leonard is already just kind of out indefinitely, and I don't think he played more than like 20-25 minutes in any of the games he's been in so far after taking all of last season off and the playoffs the year before. So I don't have any idea what's going on with him. John Wall is resting on back-to-backs. So a lot of that depth that was advertised and that, I kind of really thought was going to be a strength has kind of run thin pretty quick. If they're not hitting shots, if like Marcus Morris isn't hitting that corner three, good luck. Luke Kennard, sniper. Ivica Zubac, still the biggest mistake of Magic Johnson's tenure as the Lakers GM, or as the Lakers president of basketball operations. I don't understand it. That team is winning games that I can't fathom how they're pulling some of these out with Reggie Jackson, Paul George, Norman Powell, Nick Batum, and Robert Covington, but they're doing it. It's just not always super watchable. So next up, we have the Charlotte Hornets, who I'm going to put at a C as well. LaMelo Ball did just come back, which means that this is a ranking that is subject to improve now going forward. But they've just had so many injuries. Terry Rozier missed time after starting out like an absolute star. Gordon Hayward is already out for the next, I think it's like a week or so. So he's been in and out of the lineup. And other than that, this team just doesn't have a whole lot of players to get super psyched on. I really like Kelly Oubre, but Montrez is gone. Miles Bridges should probably never play in the league again. This is all going to really just depend on LaMelo. If he comes back and plays like he never left, then it's going to be exponentially more watchable. And next up, we have my first S tier, the Cleveland Cavaliers. I knew they were going to be a team that I was going to have to watch when they made the trade to get Donovan Mitchell. They were probably one of the few must-watch teams for me last season, just with the emergence of Darius Garland and that young roster and Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, and they traded for Karis LeVert. Kevin Love deciding to become the greatest teammate ever is an unexpected, pleasant surprise. And now they have Donovan Mitchell, who is one of my favorite players to watch that isn't on my main team. So this is a team that I've had really high hopes for all summer since they made this trade. And they've kind of hit a rough spot recently. Donovan Mitchell missed last night's game with an ankle sprain. I believe he's questionable for their next game. So we'll see. But 8-5, probably a few more losses than they would have expected in some close games. But it's a team that's still kind of feeling each other out. Next up, we have the Denver Nuggets. I'm going to go B tier, just on the strength of Jokic. Jamal Murray doesn't quite look like Jamal Murray yet. Michael Porter Jr. might shoot 50% plus from three. It's incredible. And Jokic is just the model of consistency when it comes to scoring a basketball, playmaking at an unprecedented level as a center. The man is just basketball nirvana watching him. The Houston Rockets, I'm going to put it as C. I love the players they have. I love Steven Silas as a coach. But if it's a full slate of games, the Rockets, depending on who the opponent is, aren't really my first choice. I love Jalen Green. I think he's taken a good step. I think Jabari Smith has been a bit disappointing considering he was their top 3 pick. And Kevin Porter Jr., I really love him too. I think he's just unpredictable. You could tell me anything happened with him on the court and I would probably believe it. Next up, we have the Indiana Pacers, who are a solid B because Indiana just plays basketball. That's just what they do. Rick Carlisle has that team second in the league shooting threes and 3-point attempts. Benedict Mathurin is potentially already Sixth Man of the Year, and he's a rookie. And Tyrese Halliburton is playing like every bit of the player that everyone was so upset at the Kings for trading when they traded him 2 years ago. This is a super fun team to watch. Rick Carlisle has them just absolutely hoisting shots and running that pace as fast as they can. And it's a joy to watch, even if Miles Turner is actively trying to get himself traded. Next, in the same vein, but I'm going to bump them up. Actually, I can't believe I'm doing it, to an A, the Sacramento Kings. This is like the best roster the Kings have had in years. Keegan Murray, Davion Mitchell, Domantas Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox powering it all like kind of everyone hoped he would be able to. He has been a joy to watch, and it's been proof early on in the season at least that his chemistry with Sabonis last year after the trade deadline wasn't a fluke. It wasn't just a random thing. They have genuinely great chemistry, and with Keegan Murray stepping in like a professional scorer already, he cracked the starting lineup in like one game. He played like one game off the bench, and they were like, yeah, that's enough of that. Mike Brown is an awesome coach. I love him. I think he's just a great personality, and it's clear that this team has bought into his personality. Brings me to my team, unfortunately. The Lakers. Don't love watching them on a nightly basis. I love six-man Russ. I cannot get enough of him. I love Austin Reeves, Matt Ryan lineups. That's crazy. But this team has just not been what I expected. I didn't expect much either, but something about it is just like, nothing is better about watching the Laker games than like being online and collectively melting down with other Lakers fans. Like that just really kind of turns it into a more cathartic experience. Milwaukee Bucks, S tier. When Giannis is healthy, unbelievable. Javon Carter and Marchand Beauchamp look like absolute steals. Beauchamp in particular is an absolute monster, especially in these last few games that they've been without Drew Holiday or Giannis. But when Giannis is in the lineup, must see. The things he's doing this year, he's off to an incredible start, and that's without Chris Middleton yet. No idea when he's coming back, but Giannis alone is must watch for me. Miami Heat, C. No, I like Jimmy Butler, so I'll leave him at a C. This is a team that is like, they know exactly who they are, but like who they are is really kind of struggling so far in the early part of this season, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's shooting. I don't know if it's too much reliance on guys like Max Strus and, guys like Duncan Robinson kind of being played out of his spot after signing a $90 million contract. I don't know if it's Tyler Hero moving from the sixth-man role to the starting lineup in times. Like, something about this team is off. I don't know if they're, a potential trade candidate, if they're going to, be worried about optimizing and capitalizing the window that they have. But something about them is just not enjoyable. They're a grinding type of team. This is like 90s basketball when you put on a Heat game. Dallas Mavericks, I'm going to give an A. Luka Doncic is must-see TV, but he does not exactly have a stacked supporting cast here. I don't need to watch Spencer Dinwiddie take 25 shots a game. Can't do it. Christian Wood's been hurt. He was playing like a sixth man of the year before he got hurt, which is a shame. Hopefully he comes back because that will inject this Mavs team with some much needed energy. But for now, just on Luka alone, they are an A. Pelicans are also an A. They have a lot of players that kind of just go in and out of the lineups, but when they are at full strength, Zion, Ingram, CJ McCollum, Grand Theft Alvarado, Jonas Valanciunas, Herb Jones, Larry Nance, the depth, the entertainment goes on and on. They are like a running fast break. Like, anything can happen at any moment. They are stifling on defense when they want to be. Zion is still good for like one or two explosive looking plays, if not the same level of defense that we had expected to see from him more often. But just on sheer pace and entertainment value alone, this is a team that consistently finds themselves in like heart racing, super exciting crunch time games. The Knicks, I'm going to give the Knicks a C. I'll put them here in the C tier. Julius Randle, I'm not a big fan of his play style. I've been really impressed with what Jalen Brunson has done for this team. I did not think he would have... I thought he would have more of an impact not being on the Mavericks, on that team, than he would on the Knicks playing for them, but he has been a lot better than expected. The player who's disappointed is RJ Barrett, and I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's a fit issue, working out the kinks, anything like that. Julius Randle playing a lot more like Julius Randle from his All-NBA season and not last season where he seemed to want to fight the fans after games. So once RJ Barrett gets it going and figures it out, I think this is going to be an exciting team. Obi Toppin, too. Shout out Obi Toppin. That dude has really played himself into the hearts of those Knicks fans. OKC, damn, it's a shame that Chet got hurt before the season because Shea cooking right now. Shea is unbelievable to watch. I hope they don't trade him. I hope they don't shut him down. But Wembanyama on this team would be incredible. If a returning Chet, have to keep Shea for that, though. Shea is absolutely blossoming in the early part of this season. I can't believe the levels that he's displaying after not seeing him consistently the last couple of years. Like, the team's been really quick to shut him down when injuries come up, and it's easy to see why. It's because this man wins basketball games. That's all he does. Josh Giddey has been good. Poku has been good. Lou Dort, not as much offensively lately, but the defense is still right there. This is a team that is like the epitome of what League Pass is for. You watch it for the young teams that are going to be in shootout type games, 100 and something to 100 and something, and you're going to love every second of it. It's like basketball junk food. Portland Trailblazers, A as well. Damian Lillard is back to playing like an all-NBA level player. Anthony Simons keeps taking leaps. Shaedon Sharpe is dunking on people's heads like he's a 10-year veteran, and he's, just starting his career. This is a team that has been awesome. Jeremy Grant slid into this team and has fit seamlessly, and I did not think that was going to happen. I thought he was going to be looking for shots, and even with Dame out, this team played a very good style of offense where they made sure they were getting open shots. Josh Hart continues to be an extremely underrated player, I think. I love watching this Blazers team. Even when Dame's been out, they're just such a easy team to cheer for. The Magic are going to get a B because Paulo has been hurt. But when Paulo is healthy, you know what, A. When Paulo is healthy, that man is putting on a clinic. I cannot imagine what's going to happen when guys like Markelle Fultz and Jonathan Isaac start trying to come back, because that is going to be an absolute traffic jam with all of the talent that they have for those first three positions. So I don't know what's going to happen with it, but as long as Paulo is on the floor, you should be watching Paulo on the floor. He is every bit a number one pick. Detroit Pistons are also going to get an A. Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey is the tandem that is just beautiful to watch. And then Jalen Duren has also looked like a pretty good player in the minutes that he's received. A little bit more inconsistent of a role for him, but he's looked great. Sadiq Bey, Isaiah Stewart, all the guys. Even Killian Hayes has been hit and miss in the six-man role that he has come into. But he is still a lot more fun to watch now as a sixth man than he was as a starter, where teams were going 5-on-4 because they knew they didn't have to worry about him shooting. Phoenix, C. Devin Booker's been great. Chris Paul's already hurt. DeAndre Ayton kind of seems like he's still checked out. Cam Johnson just got hurt. Jay Crowder's putting out mixtapes on Twitter and wanting to be traded. So who knows what's going on with that. This team is still a potential chemistry disaster at some point, just waiting to happen. But Devin Booker can cook on any given night, and that's worth watching most of the time. But other than that, you have to probably be a pretty deep fan of one of these players or just a Suns fan to be really watching them consistently. Spurs are going to be a B. I really like this Spurs team. I really like Popovich. I think it's going to come to a point where Popovich is like, hey, that early success we had to start the season, that feel-good story, yeah, that's done. We are tanking to tank right now. Victor Wembanyama, guys, eyes on the prize. But, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, Trey Jones has been incredible. Like, this is a team that is blossoming on a nightly basis. 76ers are going to be my first... Yeah, I don't like watching the 76ers play. I don't like James Harden's style, so I didn't enjoy it while Embiid was out. I don't really like Embiid's style. I can respect how dominant he is, but it's just not the basketball for me. Like, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but You know what? I have to move them up. I can't have them as a D and say I hate, or as a D and say I hate the fouls and everything when I have the Hawks and the Mavericks and these other teams that just foul bait nonstop. So you know what? C tier, but everything I said still applies. B tier for Toronto. They are hooping. I love Scotty Barnes. Nick Nurse is a very talented head coach. OG Anunoby has played great. Gary Trent's been in and out of the lineup. Fred VanVleet as well. But with Scotty Barnes kind of playing like a point forward role, they've not been bad. Pascal Siakam has looked like the all-star level player that he was a few years ago as well. And this is a team that looks like they are just hell to play when you play them. Like, they look like they are just wearing you out on both ends of the court for the full time. And that is, it just sounds exhausting. S tier, you already know. Utah, S tier. This Jazz team is incredible. It's so much fun. They have 3 7-foot Larry Birds named Walker Kessler, Larry Markkinen, and Kelly Olynyk. I can't believe it. They were like, Jordan Clarkson, you're going to start now because we have Jordan Clarkson 2.0 coming off of the bench. His name is Colin Sexton. He can score in bunches, and he will absolutely clamp the best player on the other team while, like, talking the most. It's incredible. This team is like Major League, like the movie Major League, where the owner's trying to make the team bad on purpose so that she can sell and move them to Miami. And they're like just such a lovable ragtag group of scallions who have been cast-offs in the major leagues. You can't help but fall in love and root for them. And that is this Jazz team. They are coming out and they are absolutely destroying teams on most of these nights. Their offense is in the top tier. Their defense is in the top tier. I don't think there's any way it's going to sustain for an entire 82-game season. Mostly because I don't think there's any way Danny Ainge doesn't trade half of these players. But it doesn't matter. Because as long as we can, we are going to ride this ride. And we are going to watch and love these Jazz games. Warriors are going to get put in the A tier. Really no reason other than the fact that Steph Curry can get hot at any point. Jordan Poole can get hot at any point. Klay Thompson remains one of my favorite people in the league. But there is just something about this team that is off to start this year. And it's probably got something to do with the whole, hey, Draymond Green punched our 6th man in the face in training camp and kind of nothing happened from the outside looking in. So this team feels like something's off. It feels like they're a move or two away from hitting back that stride that they are really so well known for. But just the pieces on this team make it impossible to look away. I'm going to put the Wizards at a B. I love some of these players. Obviously, guys like Kuzma were on the Lakers. Bradley Beal's missed time with the health and safety protocols, unfortunately, but he is one of my favorite players to watch as well. That dude is a professional scorer. I don't know how he creates some of the shots he creates, but I love watching him play. I think him and Porzingis have been a much better pair than I could have expected. Porzingis has looked way better than I could have expected as well. Just healthier, stronger, more confident, which has been really good to see. So I hope he comes back. I hope Brad comes back and this team can continue because they've got some pretty good wins early on this season. And then lastly, Memphis Grizzlies are going to be the 4th S-tier team. Ja Morant, Desmond Bane playing like one of the best backcourts in basketball. They are just so mean. They are going to talk so much. They are going to dance in your face if you give them the chance to dunk on you, hit a 3 on you, blow you out. They don't even have Jaren Jackson Jr. yet. He might be making his debut Tuesday. Who knows? They're probably going to take some time to add him back in. But once they do, the team, the confidence, the swagger, all of it is just going to go to another level. Ja Morant is one of, if not the most exciting player in the league right now on a night-to-night basis as well. That simply they are just a must-see team. So this is how my rankings look. No D tier just because there's players I don't like watching. I can admit that, but still, at the end of the day, like if it's a 76ers versus Hawks game and my options are watch that game or go outside, I'm watching that game. So I can't really be that negative. I can't say there's no team that like I can't say there's a team I just won't watch, because the truth is I will watch whatever if it's the only option I have. It's just this is probably the order I'm going in if they're all on at once. So let me know yours. Let me know if there's any teams that that I underrated or that I overrated. If there's teams that you love watching, what your can't miss teams are, let me know in the comments. I appreciate everyone watching. If you stuck around, enjoyed it, new to the channel, subscribe, like the video, any of that stuff. Really do appreciate it. Really appreciate everyone watching. Anyone that's coming over from the shorts I've been posting. Appreciate it all. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone has a good start to the week here.